to talk about is a big question that everyone has when they first get into the sport, and it's what kind of bike do I need? And when you go to the bike store, you're going to walk in there, it's going to be super overwhelming. There's going to be tons of options. There's going to be time trial bikes, triathlon specific bikes, road bikes, mountain bikes, e-bikes, all over the place. And so I'd say the number one bike that the beginners get into is what's just called the traditional road bike. And that's what I've got here on my left. What you'll see here is just like a regular handlebar. You've got pushback geometry. You've got two round water bottle cages on the frame. The wheels aren't aerodynamic necessarily, and this is going to be an amazing sort of all-round bike. And if you're just getting into the sport, this might be a good option. The only thing that is different when it comes to triathlon is we're trying to maximize speed, and there are very few rules when it comes to the regulations of what the bikes have to look like and what sort of tube shapes that you have to adhere to in order to compete in the triathlon. So you can make your bike as fast and as aerodynamic as possible, and that's when we get into the bike on my right here. And so this is a triathlon specific bike, or what some people might refer to as a time trial bike. Here you've got aerodynamic tube shapes, you've got aerodynamic wheels, you've got a different gear ratio, you've got a triathlon time trial specific saddle, and then most importantly, you've got this aerodynamic cockpit here, which has these aero extensions. And so it sort of depends on what you're trying to do. If you're just getting into the sport and you're saying, hey, look, I want to be recreational, my only objective is to finish this thing and be comfortable, I'd shoot for a road bike. You're going to be way more comfortable on this bike. The position itself is set back way more. You're going to be able to sit upright more. You don't have to be sort of as forward. Your whole body position isn't as rotated forward as it would be on a time trial or a triathlon bike. So this is going to be a really great, comfortable bike. But if you're someone who says, look, I can't help it but be competitive, I'm one of those people who needs to get out there, I need to do my absolute best, then triathlon or a TT bike might be what's best for you. And also, I'd say when it comes to price range, the tri bikes or the TT bikes tend to be a little bit more pricey, so just keep that in mind as you're looking, but you do get so much more speed for what you pay for when it comes to a tri bike. So, like I said, the number one thing when looking at a triathlon bike, forget about the wheels, forget about the group sets or anything else, is just going to be this aero bar front end setup. Number one, your position is the number one thing that causes drag in a triathlon. So you want to make your position as small and as aerodynamic as possible. And on the road bike, you can't really achieve that. So this time trial bike has these cups here, and you're going to plant your butt on the saddle, and this bike is going to allow you to get in a position where your elbows are on these pads here and your hands are on these extensions. And so what I'm able to do, instead of just sitting upright like this the whole time like I would be on my road bikes, I'm able to get down, I'm able to tuck, I'm able to shrug my shoulders, pull my head in, and the wind is your biggest limiter when it comes to riding your bike. So this allows you to hide from the wind and go way faster than you would on your road bike. So if you're looking for pure speed, the time trial bike might be the option for you. Obviously, in a perfect world, like me, being a professional athlete, I'm fortunate to be able to have access to both, but I know not everyone has that. So those are the main differences when it comes to a road bike versus a triathlon bike. From there, you can get really detailed, and we can talk about these fast aerodynamic wheels that are on there, these the chain rings and the cassette, the gear ratios, this aerodynamic frame bottle, some of the saddles and stuff. We can get into that in some future episodes, but for this week, that's sort of the basics when it comes to what the differences are between a road bike and a time trial bike. So if you're just getting into the sport and you're in the market for a new bike, take those things into consideration and enjoy your new ride.